Sometimes even negatives will do this. You'll have a color shift that goes on, and in some prints, they'll get dark. Some will get light. You've maybe heard of tintypes. Tintypes, these are pictures made on little thin sheets of iron. That was the real in thing to do around the Civil War, American Civil War era, and those get darker, as they get exposed to light and age. So I had some negatives. A customer of mine gave me some negatives to scan, and I did not get their permission to use these. But because no one has sent me any questions, I had to come up with something quickly at the last minute. So I will give the credit for this week's show to the fine people at Evanston Photographic Studios, and they do an excellent job with their wedding photography and their portraits, and they have a wonderful collection of old negatives from the Evanston, city of Evanston, what can I say, life around there. So they have quite a few. So oftentimes they give me some negatives to scan in and work on. So in this particular instance, they just wanted me to scan it. So there's not a whole lot of color correction involved yet. There's still some involved, especially in the scanner. Unfortunately for today's show, I will not be able to show you what to do in the scanner or what I did inside the scanner software, but I would like to show you what I did after that. So, there's the Fine Photographics website, but that is not what I wanted. I wanted to go to Photoshop, and we're going to be using, I think, this should be CS5. Yeah, I like to switch around versions. Sometimes people have older versions, and we want to accommodate as many people as possible. So the first one was this black and white image. So when I'm scanning, I always scan in color. And when you do that, you're able to capture a lot more detail than if you told the scanner to scan it as a grayscale or a black and white. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now this actually, I did a little work on it. I'll show you. Let me go here to the layers palette, and we have a little layer called black and white. I'll turn that off. Now this is what it looked like when I scanned it. This was from I do not remember if this was, I think this was from an 8x10. It could have been a 3x5, 5x7. It was a large format negative, black and white. And when I scan these things in, you really want to crank up the detail. I mean, look all the detail in the faces here. They're kind of flattened out because it's a telephoto lens, or I'm sorry, because they are stacked on top of each other and it's shot straight on. I would guess it's probably just a standard. I don't even know if that would be, it might have some wide angle aspects to it, because we do see the bleachers here somewhat distorted. So analyzing this further, we see all kinds of detail in here. We want to keep that. And unfortunately, you really can't get that if you scan it in grayscale, because, going through the different channels of color, and this is something you can only do in Photoshop, not Photoshop Elements. Red, green, blue. I mean, there's detail even in that blue channel right around here, especially the highlights. There's a lot of noise in there. Green. Let's just go separately, actually. So, green is pretty clean. Red is really clean. But see, if you have the blue, then you have detail up here in the hair that's not there in the green. So the red gives us detail in the shadows. Right in here, look at his eye. I mean, you can really see, you can see his iris and the whites of his eyes. But you go to the green, you can see a little bit more, but then when you go to the blue, it's gone. So with the blue, we have detail up here in the highlights. The red and the green, not so much, especially the red. If I was to scan this in grayscale, it would be very difficult. It would be very grainy in both these areas. It'd be hard to work with. So the nice thing about Photoshop, I think it was CS3 when they started it, is this black and white adjustment layer. So since we're working in CS5, we don't have a dialog box. We have instead a palette here. And what I like about this is I could click on this little finger pointer, and then I'll go in these areas and I can make adjustments. And see, this is the red channel, so I can open that up in the shadow areas a little bit more. Now we are losing a little bit of detail up here. So this is yellow. We don't want to knock it out.